Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning at 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres, starting Maamar tests. My staff, I give some tzedakah, good tzedakah, shemekaros agula. And we're going to learn, and this whole series of Kuntres is in honor of all the Eretz Yisrael, the Eretz everywhere, specifically in Eretz Yisrael, the soldiers, and especially the hostages that amidst Hashem, good news should come, and they should come back healthily, quickly, and safe. And we're going to focus on the hostage Roni ben Barta. Mitzvah Hashem should be safe and strong and good, and should have only good news. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're going to discuss, as I put in the title, we're going to discuss the difference between Ratzon and Seichel. This is a very fundamental idea. Talks about this a lot in Chassidus. So you pay attention now, and then you have it. Like I've said in the past, that when you learn Chassidus, everything builds off itself. So whatever you learn, that helps you with other things that you learn. So here you get a chance to learn, what does it mean Pnimi, what does it mean Makif, what does it mean Seder Shtashlus, Lamani Seder Shtashlus, and then outside, in short, Seder Shtashlus. So I remember when I started learning Chassidus, and for many years, you say Seder Shtashlus, it means the chain-like descent of godliness from the high worlds to the low worlds. But in essence, it's Chinese. Like, it doesn't, what does that mean to me? But in simple English, Seder Shtashlus is nature. It's the way God manifests himself within nature, the way the world's coming to be. Now, you have to appreciate, it's not nature like physical nature. Atzilus is not like physical nature, but in simple terms, when we talk about Seder Shtashlus, that's how God is manifest within the nature of the world, within the physicality of the world. And in the higher worlds, higher and more refined, but that same idea. And L'maydim Seder Shtashlus, above Seder Shtashlus, or Makif, it's how God is not infused within the world, and he surrounds and it's above it, not permeated. Let's see. Okay, Maamar test Parak Aleph. So so the source of the idea is about the difference between Ratzon and Seichel. We'll say it like this: Hine Yodua the Seder Shtashlus hu b'chinas opnimi. Seder Shtashlus is Hashem's light. Light is something that shines from the sun. It comes out of the sun. So Hashem's godliness that comes out. When it comes in Seder Shtashlus, it's called an opnimi. It's tailored to the thing, whatever it is, the creation, whether it's us, whether it's the world, whether it's the high worlds, but it's tailored, it's brought in pnimi it's internalized. It's the enclothement of the light into vessels. In the first keli, the head, the beginning keli is wisdom, intellect, thinking, learning, using our brains. Like, for example, a person below. The first ability that we have is intellect. That meaning that's the top. Because of that everything else comes from. Meaning things get learnt, and that's how you know how to do things. Everything you do, to eat, to walk, everything you do, your body learns. To cook, to learn, whatever it is, it comes first from thinking, from learning about it. Because Ratzon, in contrast, Ratzon is Shalamayla mi'achacha. Ratzon is above chacha. And has no specific place in the body. And Ratzon, the will, the desire that we have, is found equally in the body. Intellect is in the brain, and from the brain, it expresses itself in other ways. As we're going to explain, it's like learn how to do something, learn how to dance, learn dance moves for a wedding shtick. So it takes time to learn. People have to learn how to do it because it's seichel. So it comes from your intellect, which is seated in the brain, and it's trying to teach the other parts of your body to do it. Ratzon is not like that. Ratzon is not in the brain. Ratzon is everywhere. So it's a makif. It's above everything. Doesn't mean physically above, but it means it doesn't have a seat, a specific place where it is. It's everywhere. Even though you feel the ratzon, you feel the desire, the will, it's in your brain because you think about it. That's realizing what that ratzon is. But that the head feels more of the desire more than the foot. When we have a desire for something like a house, desire for a shidduch, desire for a job, desire for food. That desire is it happens in the brain more. You don't feel that desire in the foot generally. But the ratzon itself is equally in the foot as it is in the head. What's the proof that the ratzon is equally in the foot as in the head? You want to move your foot, you move your foot straight away. Doesn't take any time. You just shake your foot and it's done. So therefore, if you're gonna say its seat, where it comes from, it's from the head. That's where it's keli. That's where it stays. Like the intellect, that's where its seat is. So she has his man. So it would need to take time to go from the head to the foot to move it. But instantaneously, when you want to move your foot, you can do it now. Try to move your foot, it goes straight away. Why does that happen straight away? Because that's coming from the ratzon, and ratzon is equally in your foot as it is in your head. And like the movement from the intellect to the foot, imun raglov behiluch yashar oy kumoi berikud al pi kavanas hasechol. Let's say, for example, you want to march. To learn how to march, in the army they learn how to walk together, marches, or like you want to learn how to dance, like we said before, learning a dance, it takes time to learn. The fee, and also dancing according to the beat. That's why you watch people that know how to dance. It's something to watch. Why? Because it's not a natural thing. You have to learn it, and it comes from the seichel, and it takes time to learn it. It doesn't come automatically. You can't just automatically know how to dance well. Some people have more of a natural thing, but they still got to work on it. And this is because it comes from a way of ishtalshlus. It descends from the intellect all the way to, in this case, the foot. That's, again, like you see what I talked about in the beginning, the Seder Ishtalshlus. It is a chain-like descent, but it means it's a descent, orderly, organized from one level to the next, low and low, until, in our case, goes from the head, intellect, to the foot, and teaches the foot how to do it. And that's intellect, because it's a pnimi, that's like a nature, it has a specific thing, and it comes in its specific place. In the head, intellect is included. And it goes down from the intellect to the emotions, and to the attributes, until it comes to the action. It goes to all the stages from seichel to chacham bin adas, chesed gevurz first, and that's a you say to malchus is expresses action, and that's a whole thing that happens. We think about something, we understand it, we have emotions to it, and we decide to do it, and then we actually do it. Yeah, so you actually move. The Salbshus Shiur Haseichel Mislabish Mamash V'Koyach HaTenua Shorego. Now, That all this is all through the light of the seichum that's included literally in the movement of the foot. There's brainwaves, whatever it is, that it's sending messages to the foot to move in a specific way. And that's why it takes time. Like, for example, another example, look, my son, he learns how to play keyboard. Took time. And took time to teach your body. The seichel is teaching, in his case, the fingers, how to do it. And whatever it is, whether it's a dance, whatever it is that we're learning, and the reason why I use the example of the foot is that's like sort of the highest to the lowest. But it takes this process. At seichel. Seichel is in the head, and it has to transfer that information that's in the head all the way down to the foot, and it takes time and practice. And therefore, if the ratzin, just like this, if it would be just like the seichel, and the ratzin would be in some part of the body, that's where its seat was. We have to have time, and it'll take time for these things until it'll affect in the case of the dancing the foot. And we see and we see here that the ratzin affects the movement of the foot, immediately without any time. We don't have to think about the foot moving and have to have a whole seder shtalshlus to going from the mind all the way till the foot moves. You just move your foot. It's very automatic. The fish are rotten ein loy kli miyuchad baguf v'nimtza b'regel k'may v'reish. And the reason is because the ratzin is not more in the head than in the foot. The ratzin is equally everywhere. It's a makif. Makif means that it surrounds. Doesn't mean it physically surrounds, but it means it doesn't have a specific place where it belongs. It's everywhere. V'hakoyach harishon shemislabesh b'kli hu koyach chachma. And the first koyach, the first point within the world and within us that has a vessel is chachma. Meaning ratzin is above chachma. Ratzin is like, it's called keser. It's like a crown. A crown is above you. So ratzin is above. It's again not physically higher, but it means it surrounds. The first point within us that we have a place. It's that it's a vessel for holding something is chachma, which is in the mind. And there's three aspects of it. Chachma bin andas, shehem kelim legimel koiches, which are the vessels for the three powers of Chachma bin adas. Legimel koiches, which is the place in the mind where we can have the Chachma bin adas. The hamidas and the emotions, mishkam alev, their kli, their vessel, their home is in the heart. So too with all the powers. They have specific limbs, specific places. Talks about different places, all the limbs what they represent. But the point we're saying here is Bratzain is above us, meaning it's not above us physically, but it doesn't have a specific place within us. It's everywhere equally. And this is sort of the two levels of godliness. There's a level of godliness of makif. We say Hashem there's a level of Hashem that's makif. It doesn't mean that it surrounds us from above us, but it means it doesn't have a specific place. It's everywhere. And then there's a level of godliness that's pnimi, or like there's seichul midos, the specific places, starting from the chachma, specific housing, which is the intellect, which is in the mind, and the emotions within the heart, and that's where they find themselves. Kitzer. Summary. Koiches pnimim, the inner powers, mislabshim bekelim, and clothed in vessels. Pratim, specific ones, ubayim behishtalshlus, and it goes with this chain-like descent. Like we said, this nature. The koyach harishon, the first one is koyach chachma. Koyach ratzin, whereas ratzin, hu koyach makif. Ratzin is a makif. So now we can understand when we say the word makif, what does it mean? Surrounds doesn't mean physically surrounds, but it means it doesn't have a specific place. Whereas a pnimi has a specific place. Shenimtza b'chol ivarim, that's found within all limbs. And the ratzin doesn't come with this ishtalshlus. The ratzin wants to get the foot to move. It's by the foot already. It doesn't have to go through the whole process of seichel and midos, intellect and emotions, and to talk to ourselves and teach ourselves and to get it to move. It just automatically moves. And therefore the effect of the intellect come with effort, with effort learning. And therefore it also has time, takes time. Whereas ratzon, doesn't have any time, doesn't have to wait. And also tomorrow we're going to discuss this as it applies above to God and how it works within God's interaction with the world, the level of interaction where Torah mitzvahs makes a difference with which is the state of shtalshlus, and therefore what we do matters. And then there's a higher level, Hashem's, so to speak, come a level of ratzon, which it doesn't really matter on that level, and therefore even Rishayim can be successful. To be continued tomorrow. Have an amazing day.